Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today I've got the pleasure of interviewing Bryan Dulaney, the CEO and founder of the Perfect Funnel System. How's it going, Bryan?
Going well, man. How are you?
Awesome, brilliant, going well over here. All right, so we'll just get straight into it. Your background goes back a long way with funnels, probably before most people have even heard of a funnel. Can you just tell me a little bit about how you got into marketing and funnels in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, my brand is called Perfect Funnel System before funnels was a thing, actually. And I started back in 2006, actually. 2006 is when I got introduced to it. I was at Liberty University, finishing up my master's degree because, quite frankly, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to get a job and work for someone else. I knew I wanted to start my own business. And I kind of stumbled into internet marketing, quite frankly, because of personal development. So I was going really deep down the rabbit hole of personal development. And then eventually I stumbled on this whole concept of, you can promote and sell other people's stuff on the internet and make money, or you can provide services and you can make money. So it was a novel idea back in 2006, at least for me. And I got attracted to the idea of I can just use my computer. I can travel the world, and I can pretty much, print cash on demand and serve anyone I want. It was a really cool idea. So that was my introduction to it. And then what I did was, I think what was really the catalyst for proving that it was a good decision was a challenge. I joined a 30-day challenge, and it was all about how to make your first dollar online in 30 days or less. And I came late to the party. I missed the memo. I came like 2 weeks late. So I signed up for the challenge, and I just started watching videos and doing the work. And within 7 days, I ended up having an email come through that said you made a sale, and I made $750. And I was like, man, if I could just do this every day, once a day, even if I just do it once a day, I'll make $250,000 a year. Yeah. And that's how my brain was thinking. I was like, okay, I gotta really figure out how that happened, because I had no idea how it happened. It just almost felt like it was almost like a fluke. And it was too easy. It was like, that was too easy. And so after that, I just went all in on trying to figure out how I can, repeat that process.
Okay, but sort of back in those days, it would have been mostly like web design and websites. So what actually enticed you towards funnels instead of like building web pages and websites?
There was still funnels back then. So, we were still capturing leads, building lists. We were still doing that back in the day. It's just, they weren't really called funnels, right? They were called websites, right? I don't even know what we called them, but we might have called them funnels, right? I don't even remember, because it's been so long. It's 14 years. But one of the things that my first $750 was from a website. It was a blog. So basically what it was I bought a domain name, I set up my hosting, I started publishing content, and someone landed on my blog through SEO. So that's actually how the person got there to buy the thing. It wasn't until I hired a mentor, and he told me, listen, Bryan, you gotta, number one, if you're gonna promote other people's stuff as an affiliate, you need to find stuff that you can make over $500 as a commission of whatever it is that you're selling. I said, okay. And you need to build your own database, because that database you can serve into the future. You can add more value to them by giving them other offers, other things that they need. And I didn't really see that right away. But several months into it, I remember I was at an event with my dad. I brought my dad out to this event, and it was about marketing online and all this stuff. And I was supporting a product launch at the time. There was a big launch going on, and all I did was email my list that I'd been building. And the crazy part about it was I promoted it to my database that was building. And when I went back to lunch for a break at that event, I looked at my email and my name was on the leaderboard. I was number 4. And the guy who was hosting the event, which is a big name, kind of like Russell Brunson. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but kind of like him. I was beating him, and I was at this guy's event. I was like, how is this possible? How is this even, it was like a complete mind blow. And and that really solidified the idea of like, it's very important that you build your own database, your own list, something that you own,
Yeah.
not something that's controlled by, someone else.
Okay. So what tools were you using back then now? I mean, obviously there's no ClickFunnels, but was it like WordPress or Optimized Press, or what did you use back?
Yeah, I mean, way before Optimized Press, Excite Pro was a
Oh yeah,
platform.
I remember that one. Yes.
Yep. Excite Pro was one of the first ones. WordPress.
Okay.
Then eventually Optimized Press came along. And then we built our own platform as well, an internal platform, because even Optimized Press was just, back in the day, it was just all the same ugly stuff all over the internet. Um, that was the challenge, is that everyone was building direct response funnels, and none of it looked good.
Yeah.
And everyone's justification in the market was, oh, it doesn't matter, design doesn't matter, aesthetics don't matter. And now I say, yeah, walk across stage in your underwear and see how aesthetics do you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not too well.
Yeah. Good point. All right. So if we fast forward sort of to today, what are the main projects that you're focusing on at the moment?
Yeah. So right now we're in the middle of we're hosting a challenge. We've got a challenge funnel. We've got over 4,000 people registered for that. That starts next week. So excited about that. We're going to charge for it, but then I decided, we live in, it's crazy times right now with all
Yeah.
that's happening. And so we decided to give it away for free for now. And then eventually we'll sell it in the future. But that's one exciting thing that we're working on, is just helping more experts, authors, speakers, coaches, those type of people. That's who we serve.
Yeah.
And helping them get their expertise onto the internet, and be able to, use the platforms that we've been using for 14 years.
Perfect. All right. So, yeah, I'd love to talk a little bit about the golden ticket funnel that you created. I've actually been through that funnel, and to be honest with you, it blew me away, because I've never seen anything like it before in an actual funnel. Usually you just got people talking on videos and, the same old crap, but this is actually like a parody of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where you're dressed up like Willy Wonka or whatever his name is, and
Yeah.
you're actually acting on stage. So, how much effort did you put into that? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it was my wife's idea. Actually, one day we were sitting in my office, and we're talking about, giving away something for free, but like charging just for shipping and handling, something physical that we can send.
Yeah.
And she just blurted it out, like, free golden ticket. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and remember that movie? And I'm like, yeah, I remember the movie. And so she began to then paint the picture. Apparently, so she wrote like a paper. She wrote like a thesis on the book back in college. So she'd known everything about the movie, the books, like everything.
Yeah.
So she was well versed, right? And I had to go back and, like, I bought the movies, I watched all the movies, I read the books. Like, I obviously dove into it just to wrap my head around all the different things. Like, we called Everlasting Funnel for, out of Everlasting Gobstopper, which was in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The free golden ticket concept was essentially, the idea is, you get a USB drive, right? And then there's 5 winning ticket holders, kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? You've got the winning ticket holders, right? They get to come into the factory.
Yeah.
The chocolate factory, of course. So we were like, you know what, let's do the same thing. Like, people pay $15,000 a day to come into our offices to sit down and map out their funnels, their offers, their stuff. I was like, why don't we give away those for free to 5 lucky winners? And so that's what we did. And we ended up, it took us, everything was, scripted out, obviously. Like, it's, when it's a parody, like, it's got to be like on point with the story, right? I mean, you can't just like riff off the top of your head. You could, but we didn't. So we scripted every video. We built it in a way that it had a few upsells, 2 upsells in the process, in the path. And yeah, right out of the gate, I mean, over $50 average cart value, which, you guys know what average cart value is. It's how much does someone spend through the funnel, right?
Yeah.
And so it held strong at over $50 across 5,000 units that we've moved already. And it's a great funnel, because it just, again, it just stands out like a sore thumb in the internet, where everyone else is just a talking head. Like you said, It stands out.
Exactly.
It's different. It's kind of funny. It
Yeah.
kind of like, you look like, what the heck? What is this dude doing? You know?
Yeah. That was my exact reaction. Yeah.
And I'm not a guy that dresses up. My wife had to really talk me into it, you know? So as soon as I watched the movies though, like I was in, like I was all in. I actually told my wife, I'm like, hey, I think I want to sing a song. And she's like, no. You have to go to lessons for that. Like you do not have the voice to sing. I'm like, oh, but I want to sing. And I'm not a singer, so I shouldn't be singing either.
And the blonde wig was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Hey, I have my outfit in the closet over here.
Awesome. All right. So, what are the most common types of testing and optimization you guys do in your business, or sort of what sorts of things you test most regularly?
Well, on the front end of everything, I mean, we're massively testing advertising. So, and everyone should be doing that, you know. Um, most people don't run enough ads. They don't test enough stuff. We do massive testing on the front end, and whittle down to what works and what doesn't. So that's the first thing. Like on an advertising side of things, I remember last year Russell was at Funnel Hacking Live and talking about um, he's like, guys, I have over 350 ads running right now while we're here at Funnel Hacking Live. Like, if you don't have a lot of ads running, you're not doing it right. Like, if you have 2 ads running, like it's something massive. Like, you're not doing it right. And I would concur with, like, I would agree with that statement. And people ask me all the time, like, well, what kind of ads? Like image ads or video ads? Like, no, everything. Like everything. Like test everything. You know, like. Is a long video or a short video good? No, both. Like we have videos that are long that crush it. We have videos that are like very short, like 30 seconds or less that crush it. So it's not about like this or that. Is there like this one thing that works? It's really about like testing it all and then sifting, you know, kind of like you're sifting for gold, right? And then there's going to be stuff that just really resonates and takes off. And then there's going to be other stuff that doesn't resonate at all that needs to be killed. And you're going to know that by your engagement. You're going to know that by the way we know it is typically by our lead acquisition rate. So if we know where so example for the free golden ticket, I'll just give you a case by case example here.
Yeah.
So with our free golden ticket, when we're running ads, we're not running ads at the moment. We kind of turn funnels on. We cycle ads, which is a good strategy, cycling funnels and cycling offers.
Okay.
But like I don't know how someone has like one funnel, one offer. Like, yeah, you do one and then you start stacking them. So you can cycle, because like there is a thing called funnel fatigue or offer fatigue in the marketplace that you will run up against if you've run enough traffic. It just will happen. And you only will know that once you run enough money, run enough people through it.
Yeah.
But with the what was I saying? With the so the acquisition rate. So we have 3 metrics that we run in our business. We have where do we want the leads to be or acquisition to be for the golden ticket? I sit down with my team before we run any campaigns. We have a team of more than 20 people, doing all different types of things. But we sit down and we say, okay, we've got 3 levels. We got like, okay, this is where we want it to be. Like, so the acquisition should not go over $25 to acquire a buyer for $9.95. Now, I can confidently spend $25 because my average cart value is over $50, right? Yep. So I'm happy. I'm super happy. I could spend up to $50 and be completely fine. But I like to double my money on the front end. That's a good thing to do. So for me, I said, okay, $25. Okay, that's going to be like the top of the bar. If you can get it down to 15, if we can get the lead acquisition rates down to $15 to acquire a buyer at $9.95, that'll be stellar. And anything under 10 will be like crushing it out of the park. Like that's when so those are the metrics we run for that type of campaign. It's free plus shipping. I have friends though, like, Dean Graciosi, these type of people. And like, they're happy with like, their average cart values will be maybe 40, 50, 60, $70. They're willing to spend every dime of that on the front end as they should be. Because the back end should take care of the front end should lead people to the back end. The back end being done with you or done for you offers. And if you don't have those offers in place, either A, find someone else who does and then align with them to be an affiliate partner. Don't just take yourself out and say, oh, I don't do that. Because if you do, you're leaving money on the table. And in my opinion, average cart value, it's really important to understand average cart value and then also lifetime value. What I have found is that most people don't have any clue what their lifetime value is, and they're always very short-sighted. So it's always about like the money now, and they're not insightful about like the money into the future.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he who can spend more to acquire a customer wins.
Yeah.
I can technically spend, because I've done the math on my funnel. My free golden ticket it's like over $300 average cart value across over 5,000 customers.
Jeez.
So
That's
when you get
good.
that up, and that's with the back end. So with the front end of the funnel, it's over 50.
Yeah.
With the back end included, it's over 300.
Yeah.
So technically, I could spend $100 to acquire a buyer for $9.95, and that's insane, right? But at the end of the day, it's there. Like I've proven it across 5,000 customers. So I can go get another 5,000 customers. And even if I spend $100 a customer, I'm good. I'm still tripling my money and serving more people, right? So.
Exactly. Well, that just shows the importance of actually knowing your numbers. Otherwise, you really got no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, super important. And then lead acquisition rate's the same thing. Like for like our webinars, we have like a good, better, best kind of scenario. Like this is good, this is better, this is best. And we're always going off that metric. If I'm getting webinar leads for like say $20 an opt-in, that's no bueno. Like my team knows, like if any ad campaigns are getting leads that are costing $20 to acquire a lead, like that's not cool. That's not acceptable. Like they need to be between the $5 to $10 range is typically where I want them to be. So I can double my money on the front end. That's typically what I'm looking at. That's what I'm shooting for. Is like, if I can double my money on the front end, in my opinion, I'm crushing it out of the park, or our clients are crushing it out of the park, whatever campaign we're running.
Most people are happy to break even on the front end, but you want to double it. So I guess that
Yeah,
takes it to the next level. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's why you got the 2 Comma Club awards behind you. So yeah, fair enough. All right. So what are your favorite tools for testing and marketing experiments?
I mean, we use heat mapping, we used a ton of stuff over the years. I saw that question. I didn't prepare for that question at all. And quite frankly, when you sent me the question, usually when I do podcast interviews or interviews in general, I just come to the table and riff.
Fair enough.
Usually people don't give me the questions in advance. So thank you for preparing, but I like to just free flow, to be honest with you. Visual website optimizer is a thing that we've used in the past to test, to look at where people are clicking, what people are clicking on, what they're doing with their mouth, like what they're doing on the pages and on the funnels.
Yeah.
So stuff like Crazy Egg, visual website optimizer. There's another one that we've used recently that I'm just Hotjar, I think it is.
Oh yeah, I was going to say Hotjar. Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff like that is stuff that we use. What else? I mean, that's really in terms of like optimizing the funnel. I mean, at the end of the day, you can get over sophisticated about it. What I've seen on campaigns, I mean, we've run over $250 million through funnels.
Yep.
So it's like, at the end of the day, I'm looking at the core metrics I'm looking at are what's the cost to acquire a lead or a customer, and then what's the average cart value, or what's the revenue per customer. Those are the core metrics I'm looking at. And if opt-in rates are low, then typically the problem is the headline. If the headline's not the problem, then it's other stuff on the page, like page speed. That's typically one that like people don't think about, is page speed.
True. Yes.
Right? Like I love ClickFunnels, but sometimes the page speeds are slow. Yes. And it's like, you need to get your page speeds down. Like we had one funnel one time, actually it was the golden ticket one. It was like a page speed was like 11 because there's so many images. I was like, guys, we need to compress the images. Yeah. We need to get the page speed like under it needs to be like a second. It shouldn't be loading in 11 seconds. Like we're losing opt-ins, we're losing sales. And so that's a biggie, like is page speed, because page speed could be killing your conversion. Because if it's not loading, people have ADD, like they're distracted very easily.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's
a good point. All right, so I might be putting on the spot a bit here, but can you provide an example of like a marketing test that ended up resulting in a really weird or unexpected result that you never thought was possible, or just blew you away? Like, how could this be possible?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of those, and they go both directions, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yes.
So I think the one I'm not going to mention names here to protect the
Yeah, fair
innocent.
enough. Yep.
But the one campaign. So typically our process is like we sit down and map out the funnels, the offers, and the ad strategy to do $1 million a year or $1 million a month. That's typically our first step, and then we go into a build phase, and then we actually launch things. That's our process that we do in our business. So with this particular client, we did that, right? And I wasn't really like super, I was like, oh, I was a little nervous, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, I'm a little nervous about how this is going to do when we start advertising it. Like we do all the normal stuff that we do, and stack the deck in that client's favor so that it's pretty much impossible to lose.
Yep.
But there was just something that wasn't like, something was off, and I was just nervous. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to resonate with the marketplace. I don't know how well they're going to do on the webinar. Like, are they gonna completely botch it? Are they gonna, like all these things were going through my head. And what surprised me was she ended up going on to do 1.2 million in 21 days, which completely blew me away with $15,000 ad budget. Never in a million years would I have thought that would have happened, but it did. And so that's the one that kind of first comes to my mind. It's like,
yeah,
I mean, I didn't think that was going to happen as fast as it happened.
Yep.
And ultimately, the reality of it is that she hit an accord because she's a female in a space that's dominated mostly by men. Another thing was unique was that her angle on that was very blue ocean rather than red ocean. Red ocean meaning there's a lot of competitors, a lot of people are in there talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Really practically nobody talking about it when we introduced it to the market. And so that could go two ways. Like that could go one way of like getting a bunch of arrows in your back, being the first one in.
Yeah.
Or it could go really well and like people flooding to buy. And in her case, people flooded to buy rather than getting arrows, which was good to see. So that would be an example without without all the details of who that is.
No worries. That's cool. All right. So who are your marketing idols or maybe the biggest influences in your career?
Yeah, I mean, Tony Robbins for sure, had the opportunity to hang out with him on his island last summer,
Awesome. Yep.
and get his brain on our business. That was really cool. This year we're going back again because we were top 5 affiliate partners for Tony and Dean on the 2 biggest launches in history last year and this year,
Okay.
which was really awesome.
Yeah.
So part of like winning top 10, we were top 5 both years, the number 4 this year, number 5 last year, is that you get to go hang out, basically comped on the house by Tony and by Dean, and get to go hang out with them at Tony's resort in Fiji. And man, I just got to say, like, Tony is an incredible human being, and just, he's beyond money at this point. I mean, the guy could spend $1 million a week and not worry about it,
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but he's just such a, the things that he's working on, like, are just things that are really gonna, at the end of the day, they're gonna make their legacy projects. They're things that are really like impacting, like feeding 1 billion people. Like, I think he's gonna cross 1 billion people this year. Like, think about the handle. Think about that. That's
huge.
pretty
Yeah.
insane, right?
That is,
And
yes.
other things that he's working on are things that are gonna, like, literally, I believe, will like up level the planet, like the world at large. So he's definitely one of my mentors for sure. I mean, I get the blessed opportunity to really hang out with him and get time with him, which a lot of people don't have the opportunity to get.
Yes.
So I would consider him a mentor, as for sure. Dean Graciosi, been privileged as well to hang out with him as well. I mean, the guy's done over $1 billion in sales himself, mainly in real estate, but in infomercials, but
Okay.
super sharp marketer as well. And he has again, he's an alignment with our values, which is like,
Yep.
impact and contribution.
Yep.
And so I've had the opportunity to hang out with Dean's house at his offices in Fiji, like just, the opportunity to hang with him and get to know him on a deeper level. And he's been a great impact. And then Russell, I mean, I've been friends with Russell for probably going on like 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
I actually, funny story is that Traffic and Conversion Summit is a company that Ryan Dice started, right?
Yep.
He sold for $20 million, but a lot of people don't know that he sold the company, but he did. He still has his brand tied into it a little bit, but he negotiated a great deal for himself. But traffic and conversion, someone I was there and Russell was there 2014. And I was like, we were just catching up on what he's working on. And he's like, oh, I'm working on this new platform. And it's like a funnel software, funnel builder.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's called Success, Etc. And I'm like, Success, Etc.? That's a weird name. And he's like, well, I'm thinking about calling it ClickFunnels. Like, we're not sure yet, but I think, oh, like, oh yeah, you should definitely call it ClickFunnels. Like, that's definitely a better name.
Oh, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
and me being the affiliate marketer that I am, of course, I bought the domain name ClickFunnels Bonus and ClickFunnelsReview.com the same week until, and I ended up letting those good domain names go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and it's funny because, yeah, I've known Russell a lot longer before that, and ClickFunnels has come around, but I definitely would consider him a mentor, now a friend. And those are 3 examples,
Yeah.
of people that are in my life that speak into it, but there's a lot of others too.
No worries. Cool. Awesome. All right. So where can people go to find out more about your services and or products?
Yeah, so perfectfunnelsystem.com, perfect funnel system or systems, whatever you want to do. perfectfunnelsystem.com or just bryandulaney.com, my name, Bryan. Got to have a Y. It's a very important critical factor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think
Dulaney,
I got that wrong the first time. Sorry. Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
And then Dulaney is Dulaney. So bryandulaney.com is also my personal brand. Either one. I mean, I run all my social through my personal brand, Bryan Dulaney.
Yeah.
Just because social platforms are social, they're personal. So
Yeah.
yeah, either of those.
Awesome. Brilliant. Well, that was a great interview. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us, Bryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
No worries. Take care. See you later.